Welcome back everyone to episode 18 of the Kenshi Let's Struggle. Starting off this episode, I did my daily routine of feeding everyone manually as I haven't got the storage fix yet. But I figured out you can move the box next to your character, so if anyone else is having this problem, some 200 IQ plays for you right there. But moving on to the important stuff, our foul hound still wouldn't want to join our party. No matter what, he would just try and chop off her arm, so we had to wait it out. I would go to put more people into Adventure Time, trying to get the group ready as a lot of them were still injured and I needed lots of people because I wanted to go to the ruins that we had found in the last episode. So heading out, Shaggy and the group ran out of New Eden on their way to the ruins. Now, I decided to pick the ruins next to Skinner's Realm over in the Deadlands, just because they were a bit closer, and with that, Shaggy and the group were on their way, heading to the ruins to hopefully get some loot. We had little to no idea what would be there, and we had never been in the Deadlands before. We would have the occasional fight along the way with a total of 3, the first one being Hungry Bandits, which we swept up within no time, about a total of like 7 seconds on max speed. After that, I did find a huge group of Dust Bandits, not a huge, but a pretty fair sized group, so I had my group fight them, of course, for the XP. After that, we picked a fight with the Black Ninjas that were wandering the wastes, and this would be the last fight we got into. Now, this one went pretty well. We did get a little bit injured from it, seeing as there's some higher tier ninjas in this group, but luckily we did survive. After this, we would head into the Deadlands, where it was pretty fucking bad. It was raining acid rain and we were slowly getting damaged, so I needed to run to the ruin as fast as possible. Upon inspecting it, there was a skeleton guard there, so I decided sneaking up beside the base would be the best course of action, meaning we'd be able to get in and under and then have our people attack the skeleton. Now, this did work out pretty well, as it took some time for the other ones to get over, and we were able to sort of fight them, not one by one, but like sort of 1 by 3. There weren't too many here either, only about 5 or 6, a really small group of skeletons. B01 had decided to heal one of them though, as they seemed to be from the same series as him. Checking the storage containers, I found an ancient science book first, and B01 then picked up the broken skeleton, hoping that we could bring him back and recruit him so B01 cannot be as fucking lonely. Bug Boy would be able to pick a majority of these chests with only one of them needing tools, and we found a really cool fucking hat. It makes the character look pretty damn dank. It adds a little top hat and then some nice sunglasses. If you ever look pretty cool or you look like an old lady, it depends on your perspective. But in total, we found 3 ancient science books, and that was just about it for this. There wasn't too much else to explore or look at here. Most of the skeletons were about base stats, except for the one with 300 in all limbs. So I would go to unlock the last chest and find specialist grade samurai leggings. This was great, so I gave it to B01 as he had recently lost his leggings and he uses heavy stuff, so he should at least have a bit more defenses from that. Also, being able to find a bunch of skeleton repair kits, AI cores, lots of good stuff. The trip was pretty good, and heading out, we had found our first crimper. These guys normally don't spawn with nomads, but one of the mods in my fucking gangbang of mods decided to add it in, so there's a walking unit with like 600 stats. I'm not gonna buy it or use it, unless I obtain it legitimately, of course. Thankfully though, we had made it out of the Deadlands with little acid damage on each of our characters, about 1/8. Later on, I would also find a dog, so I decided to knock it out and get Shaggy to pick it up, as we had still not collected a dog named Scooby, and our foul hound was being pretty uncooperative up to this point. Now, there was a running army of starving bandits, but seeing as most of my people were already pretty injured, I didn't want to have to fight a bunch of fucking bandits in that type of group, so I'd make sure to avoid them and walk around them. Maybe next time. But heading back to the base, we were able to drop off our ancient science books that we had collected and all of the other different materials and things we looted from the ruins. I decided to give Shaggy the top hat, and it looks really nice. I think it's called an Ashlander hat, and it really makes him look great, really suits him. I'd also go to recruit the family dog that we found and name him Scooby. At last, Shaggy finally had a dog companion. Meanwhile, our foul hound was getting to the point of starving, but still not wanting to talk, so I would have to wait that out. And upon putting the broken skeleton into the cage, we couldn't talk to him either, so I'm not sure if I can even recruit him. Now, I wanted to have everybody get rid of all the loot that they had gotten, and I went and put some new stuff into my research tree. I would also go to make Adventure Time even bigger now, as I wanted to go and fight the Hill Marauders, as they had been a pain in my ass for quite some time now. I would set the location on my map and have my people run to the base. Being there before, I already knew what to expect. Probably about 50 units, and there's not too much of an opportunity to sneak in. There's only one way in and one way out, but that's sort of an advantage to us. Seeing a clusterfuck of them there, we stormed the gates and immediately started to smash it. Upon that opening, they would flood in and slowly start to tackle each of the Hill Marauders that were standing guard. The Hill Marauders had been responsible for quite a few attacks on our base before and quite a few assaults, and even though they did have some pretty decent units with them, especially the ranged units being able to fire super fast, they were not good enough, and even having their king get knocked out by us, we were doing pretty good. Heading into the tower, our people would finish up the remaining Hill Marauders, and with that we had finally defeated the Hill Marauders and claimed the tower. We basically cleansed the border zone. It feels pretty good. I also had B01 unlock 3 of the prisoners that were being held there, as I figured why not, and I'll see what happens, because I had not done this yet up to this point. I would go to find some materials here, mostly just stuff to sell, nothing like books or anything or research, but on the bright side there was plenty of loot, as well as the Hill Marauder King, who had a really nice My-2 weapon on him, along with some pretty decent stats and a 50k bounty. I wasn't sure if I wanted to turn him in or recruit him yet, so I didn't take his weapon off him yet. Upon leaving the tower, all 3 of the different people we had freed from captivity spoke to us, and we had them join our party. We didn't have to pay anything, and it was pretty good. It feels like a good reward for saving them. They now join our squad and our cause. Now this is when stuff got a little bit shit, so we were heading back home and Shaggy was carrying the Hill Marauder King, and this wasn't too, bad. We had a pretty good unit and he had some nice stats on him. He's not like the Dust King or the other people where they were constantly raiding or bombarding us or asking us to give them money or fight, and somebody that can get together that kind of group of people definitely might be a good addition to our team. That's what I was thinking though, as we had encountered the Dust Bandits. No matter what we do, they will never leave us alone. Having this happen, I knew we weren't in too much trouble. Shaggy went down, a few others went down because they're already at low health, but we cleaned up the Dust Bandits pretty easily here. I would then decide, hey, why don't we just head off and go? But when checking Shaggy, just because I thought I needed to check him quick, I noticed he wasn't holding a king anymore. And when looking back at the fucking massive amount of corpses, my heart started racing. There was this My-2 class weapon on this unit, a 50k bounty. Where the fuck was he? And a group of bounty hunters had just walked into the group. I was literally sweating balls. This was not really fun, man. I wasn't having a good time. I would try and check every single corpse. I did this probably 3 or 4 times, like pure insanity. 10 minutes straight just fucking checking corpses, and I couldn't find him. The bounty hunters that were leaving, I saw that they did not have anyone on him. All I could really think was maybe he got up and wandered away or escaped. I had no choice other than to cut my losses lose the My 2 class weapon and the Hill Marauder King with his 50k bounty that we had yet to claim. And just to fucking top it off, just put the fucking cherry on a cake, guess who shows up? Our favorite friends, the Crows, chose him. I was not impressed. I was very, you know, not disappointed because I suspected it, but just like, not fucking impressed at all, man. With my dumb acid tree out of the way and waiting until morning, I had no other choice. I just had to leave, and that was the end of it. Hopefully, maybe I'll end up encountering the Hill Marauder King again, or maybe he'll just go back to his tower and start a new group. I'll be fine with that as long as I can meet him again. I would also check the training tower to see our Foul Hound wasn't in the cage anymore, which was a big suck. And the Hill Marauders did raid the base while we were gone, but it was a pretty small group, and they got their asses kicked, you know. With that, it brings us to the end of the episode. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of the Kenshi Let's Struggle. I'm gonna have a new Kenshi series starting up soon. We're trying to do some more stuff with Kenshi, so look forward to that. If you guys haven't already, make sure you're subscribed to the channel. I really appreciate all the support you guys have been leaving on the videos, and I'm gonna try and get some more cool videos out soon. So until next time, peace.